The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
John. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mattalk. It is Jason and John. We're here to talk to you about a ton of things, and then eventually Matlock.
Wait. I'm going to interrupt for a minute before you get going. You just were whispering to me. And people, if you haven't watched this episode that we're going to talk about, they're going to be totally confused. They're going to think we're recording in like a library or something. Why?
Well, good news, everybody. Not a sponsor. Pluto TV has the first 5 seasons of Matlock for you to stream. And yes, Pluto TV, if you are listening, which I'm sure you're among our listeners, John and I would love to do a Matlock after show for you guys. Just email us at benmattalk@gmail.com. We'd love to be there. And yeah, we're here to talk about Matlock. And if you guys haven't seen this episode, I might highly recommend. I might not highly recommend. You'll find out at the end. But you should go watch it real quick. Just pause this. Go check it out. Join us again. You'll see the same Hulu commercial, like no exaggeration, 12 times in the span of the 1-hour episode.
You know what? That is a pet peeve of mine about streaming. Like, it seems that you get the same commercials time in and time out. Because I am a Sling subscriber. I do not have cable. I subscribe to Sling, and a lot of times on Sling you get the same 4 commercials every single commercial break when you're watching something. You know, if like I'm watching TNT, it's like I get the same car commercial, deodorant commercial, booze commercial, life insurance commercial. Like, it's the same 4. Why is that?
I don't know, man. Commercial break 1 was literally the Hulu trailer twice. I think it's called Candy. The second commercial break was Allstate, and then it was the Hulu commercial twice. And then the third break was the Hulu commercial, 2 random commercials, and then the Hulu commercial again. So I'm not exaggerating when I said I saw that Hulu commercial 12 times. I mean, I want to check out Candy, but if I see any more of that advertising, they're going to lose me on the show. I'm going to be so tired of that damn trailer.
Yeah, it baffles me why that is, and it's on multiple different platforms. It's happened to me on several different platforms over the years. But you know, wait a minute, time out. You just threw me for a loop. Did you actually? I didn't even notice this. And folks, I know this is an audio podcast, but we have our names displayed at the bottom of our screens. I just realized that you put in your name as Allison.
I do that every Mattalk episode.
I know you do. You put in a weird name in there, but I kind of didn't anticipate that you were going to put in Allison, as in the main character, Allison Tate.
Yeah. Something that I think is funny within the episode and make it my name for the day. And Allison got whispered a lot. I thought we were getting our first horror episode of Matlock today.
It kind of had that vibe to it, didn't it?
Had parts.
You know what I thought? At the beginning, I thought that it was very like Agatha Christie. You know what I mean? Like, then There Were None or Murder on the Orient Express. It kind of had that vibe to it, I felt.
Yeah, that's fair. But we're bearing the lead because this is the final episode of season 2, which means we're at 2 years of doing this podcast. We're about to start our 3rd year, which blows my mind.
I know. And you know what, folks? We actually, I'm going to tell a little bit of the story, Jason. I'm not going to reveal everything, but we had a meeting with a local company here, I guess you could call it that, to do some big things with this podcast. We're still waiting to hear back from said company, we'll say that. But I'm really excited. I was so stoked after that meeting because initially the meeting went pretty well, but there's some, I guess you could say, logistics to kind of work out, and they're supposed to get back to us. And fingers crossed, folks, that we could be doing some really big things here real soon with this podcast, which would be absolutely awesome, dude.
Yeah, I would love to. I want to make John and Jason's Pudding Hour a thing of the future, and I cannot wait to meet other people that like Matlock, because other than John, I can't get anybody else to watch it with me. I've tried to make my daughter watch it. Doesn't work out so well. She doesn't have the same nostalgic feel for it that she does.
Hey, wait a minute. We got Justin to watch. Justin Corleone. He got to watch
Cool.
an
That's
episode.
true. That is fair. And we're gonna bring you guys on too to talk to us with us. But yeah, I can't wait to do it and have some more discussions about Matlock.
Yeah, and again, fingers crossed, folks. We're not going to say too much more because I don't know if we can say too much more, to be honest. We got some big things coming down the river, so to speak. So stay tuned. Keep tabs on the Facebook and the Twitter pages. Of course, Facebook is at Mattalk Podcast. Twitter at Mattalk_podcast. And actually, I'm going to give ourselves a little pat on the back too. The Twitter's coming along. All right, it's coming along. It's not the same. It's not on the same level as the Facebook, but for those that don't know, I think that each social media outlet kind of has its own, core group, and I'm not so sure that our fans are Twitter folks, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're up to 2.5 followers, so I want to thank you 2.5 people out there that followed us. We are greatly appreciative.
Wait a minute, 2.5 on what?
Twitter.
No. They're not 2.5. Hold on. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
John's pulled out the phone, so we're getting serious now.
Yeah, I've pulled out the phone here to check. I'm gonna check our numbers real quick live while we're recording. I'm checking our numbers right here, right now.
John's got one of those phones where everything is like magnified, so he's got like the big letters and numbers.
Okay, that's a low blow. Okay, that's a low blow. That's not cool, man. I had to go to the eye doctor this week. Okay.
Do you really have it set that way?
No, I don't. This is actually for those. We have 19 followers on Twitter.
Nice.
There you go. All right, it's actually my iPad. It's not my phone. So, anyways,
I thought it was your iPad, because at first it looked like one of those big remotes that we got my grandma with like the 5 buttons.
No, my remotes are all Velcroed to my coffee table.
That's brilliant. I don't know where my surround sound remote is.
All right, you know what? Enough of our tomfoolery. Let's get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our opening statements. The title of this episode is called The Heiress, and it originally debuted on May 3rd, 1988. And Jason, I don't know if we've had one since maybe season 1, but this is an episode directed by Leo Penn, of course, Sean Penn's dad.
Huh. No, I know we had one in the beginning, but I think this is the second one.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think there's only been 2, because I think there was one in season 1 and obviously this one. So we have a variety of different guest stars, some of which have a lot of one and dones, as we've said, where they show up on a particular series or show once and then they're moved on. But then we have some that have done quite a bit. So let's go with the man that has done a lot. And Jason, he's part of our childhood. All right. And the man I'm talking about is Alan Oppenheimer, who played the role of Dr. Linder. Alan is a voice actor for literally tons of things. Jason, are you ready?
He was the voice of our 80s childhood.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a voice actor for many He-Man cartoons, including the newest one, Revelation, where he is playing the role of Mossman. He was the voice of several characters on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, She-Ra, Brave Star, the Smurfs. He was the voice of Alistair Crane on Passions. He was the voice of a scientist in that really interesting animated movie that came out about 10 years ago called 9, which I don't know if you ever saw that. That had Jennifer Connelly, Martin Landau, Elijah Wood, I think was a star. It was really a cool, interesting movie. I think it was filmed by some Russian guy that went on to do, what was the other Punisher movie? Punisher Warzone.
Yeah.
I think he did that too. So Alan Oppenheimer also was on Night Court. He was on a variety of different shows as a live actor as well. But this dude, man, as you said, he is the voice of our generation.
Man, he is 92 years old now, and he's still working.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just finished the He-Man Revelation show.
And dude, the lead. He was in Ghostbusters, not the real Ghostbusters, but just Ghostbusters, and then he was also in the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. He's in both of those. And by the way, he was in Rambo,
the animated series.
Okay.
He was in GoBots. Yeah. I love GoBots, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the only person in America who grew up preferring GoBots to Transformers.
You are the only person in America to ever say that.
Yep. I loved GoBots, man. I even bought a couple of GoBots when we were in Jersey.
I forgot that you did that.
He was on Fonz and the Happy Days. Yeah, this guy, man. I like this guy. I'm a fan of this guy.
All right, Alan Oppenheimer, we are so blessed to say your name on this podcast. I'll just leave it at that.
And he played Ralph Malph's dad on Happy Days.
You know, as a side note, real quick, if you want, and Jason, shall I plug another podcast? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. There's a YouTube channel called Toy Galaxy. Dan Larson is the host. I'm a big fan of it. They review a lot of things from the 80s, such as toys, TV shows, and movies. There's a great 2-episode explanation about the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. Check it out if you're interested. Just search for it over at YouTube. And again, that is Toy Galaxy. All right, let's talk about the next most tenured individual. That is Brian Ben. He will be playing the role of attorney Warren Kreitzer. You probably know him best as his role as Martin Tupper on the HBO show Dream On. He was also played himself, Brian Ben, on the Brian Ben Show. And he spent a lot of time on Private Practice as Dr. Wallace. Jason, did you ever watch Dream On?
I did not. That's something I have not seen.
Same here. I saw an episode or two. I really don't understand even today what the fascination was for it. I guess it was a good show. I don't know. Like I said, I only got to sample a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our lead actress. She doesn't have many things on her resume, but being the fact that she's going to get a lot of screen time, I thought it would be appropriate to mention Jill Carroll, who will be playing, of course, Allison Tate. She is best known for several appearances on the TV show In the Heat of the Night as Barbara Giles, and she was Kim in Psycho 2.
I like Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is, in my opinion, one of the best horror sequels of all time. And that was a tough, you're coming off of a movie made by one of the greatest directors of all time, and you're trying to make a sequel to it. And I thought he did a good job, and she did good in it. She was in Three's a Crowd, which is the Three's Company spinoff.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Melinda O'Fee. She will be playing the role of Marcia Gold. She had a long run on the soap opera Santa Barbara as Olivia. She had another very long run on Days of Our Lives as the character Mary Anderson Marshall. She was Mrs. Weber in Nightmare on Elm Street 2. So, Jason, can I ask, was that Wes Craven that did Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yes, he did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Did he do the sequels, or did he just do the original?
He did the original. He helped write the third one, and then he did the seventh one, which the seventh one is more like Scream than it is like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's a lot more meta.
And she played a character called Dr. Kate Weston on a show called The Invisible Man. And I don't ever remember this show. The Invisible Man was, of course, David McCallum from NCIS fame. Of course, he played Ducky on that show. I don't remember this show. Do you?
No, but I really like the Invisible Man movies.
Okay.
So it's got me mildly curious. I love this because every time we talk about this stuff, I find things that I didn't know about that I want to check out. They were also in Three's a Crowd.
Who, Melinda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two people from this episode were on Three's a Crowd. Fascinating. Oh, she died, unfortunately, a couple years ago.
All right, our last guest star is a man named Mason Adams who will be playing the role of Bob Rainier. Jason, he had a very long role on the show Lou Grant playing Charlie Hume. He was also Mr. Trapwell on Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. And guess what? He has the hat trick, Jason. He's got the Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, and Perry Mason. Woo! There we go. He was on Perry Mason, The Case of the Malign Mobster, which was a TV movie in which he played the role of Frank Halloran. And then he was Roger Philby on Murder, She Wrote. Thank you, Mr. Mason Adams, for being, again, a hat trick of the three great shows, Murder, She Wrote, Perry Mason, and Matlock.
Very cool. And he was also in the movie Son-in-Law with the great comedic presence, Pauly Shore.
Wow. I don't know about great comedic. I don't know. I watched his last movie. It was not very good.
What was his last? Oz?
No.
Life
the one
Among
where
Cannibals?
No, the one. Oh, Pauly Shore Isn't Dead. Is that the one?
Pauly Shore has had many movies since then.
Okay. My bad. Sorry. All right. Jason, are you ready to give an opinion? Your opinion and only your opinion. So help you.
Let's testify!
Testify! All right, the plot of the episode is that Ben and a friend must defend an heiress accused of killing the trustee of her trust. We're going to set the tone and the mood of the episode because our opening scene, there's a nice day, and then all of a sudden, thunderstorms all around. And we see that there's some folks having dinner. It is, of course, Allison Tate. It is Bob Rainier. It is of Dr. Linder. It is Mrs. Johnson. And, of course, later, Ms. Gold, as they all show up. And, man, oh, man, I liked the little jump scare of the storm doors blowing open behind Allison. I thought that was a very nice touch.
Yes, 100%.
So, at the dinner, they're talking about the fact that Allison is turning 21 and that they don't necessarily have to have a trustee anymore for the trust. It's going to be all handed over to her. I said that, of course, Ms. Gold would show up a little bit later. She does. She states that the roads are closing because the storm is so bad and that everybody's going to stay the night. And, oh, by the way, it's revealed that Allison just got out of the sanitarium. And so this is just a recipe for what is sure to be a very interesting next scene, because we see that Allison is a little bit restless when she tries to go to sleep, and she has a dream, and it's a dream that is a little bit of a flashback about what happened to her, and we'll get a little bit more into that. But she decides to follow the whispers.
Allison, pay attention to me. Allison.
Okay.
This is the first episode of Matlock that I have guessed a killer like within the first 5 minutes.
No, get out of here. Really?
Yep.
Okay. Man, you were on it, because I was a little stumped till about 75% through the episode. So as Jason has been giving you a little heads up, there are whispers of Allison. And so Allison gets up and she's led through the house, and she ends up going down to the library, and she finds Ms. Gold, the trustee, dead. She faints, and then we see somebody cleaning up the crime scene and frames Allison by putting the letter opener in her hand. All right. I do have to mention something here, and I don't know, Jason, if you caught this or not, or even if you have an opinion or not, but at 21 years old, what was she wearing to sleep in? Like, that nightgown was something like my mom would wear. And I'm just like, I know she's not going to come out in anything super sexy, but still, she's 21. I don't think she's wearing that to bed. Just saying. Am I wrong on that?
That's all. That's my reaction.
Okay. You just find it humorous. Okay. I'm just saying. It just seemed like something that was really, really old womanish. And for somebody that's 21, I don't see her wearing that. But I digress. Okay, we cut to the Linder Sanitarium. and Ben Matlock arrives, and he wants to talk to Bob Rainier. And by the way, Bob explains that he kind of has known Allison since she was a child because he did a lot of business with her father, and that's how he's connected to her. And he also spills the beans that the reason why Allison has been in and out of the sanitarium is because her parents were killed in a botched robbery, and she stumbled across the bodies. And so my main thought was, why is she not donning a cowl and creeping around at night, punishing those who need to be punished? Why is she not Batman?
Good question. Because when you have a choice of being Batman or not being Batman, you always choose to be Batman.
Exactly.
And that dude could have been her Alfred.
That's right. You know who we need to talk to? We need to talk to a friend of the show, Mike McGee, and get that squared away. I can hear him now. I'm not being part of your silly show, okay? All right, so Ben and Allison chat, and Allison talks about this recurring dream and about how she hears the voices whispering and all that jazz. She claims that she saw her mother in the library because her mother was holding the cigarette holder, and she had this necklace on. And so basically, the viewers are led to believe that somebody has made up Mrs. Gold to be kind of reminiscent of Allison's mother. And Allison claims that she had no memory of doing any type of stabbing or anything. She doesn't know anything. I think this is pretty brazen. If you're setting up this plot, if you're the villain, and you're setting up this plot, you better make damn certain that Mrs. Gold and Allison's mom is pretty much the same, like body type and height and weight and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
But later on, we'll actually find out why she faints. It's not because of the shock of, oh my God, that's my mother. All right, so Ben is shining his shoes in his office, and he meets Warren Kreitzer, who is sent to help Ben, and he represents the trust company. And there's a little bit of tension between Ben and Warren. What'd you think about Warren Kreitzer?
I didn't know what to think. Even though I had already solved the murder, I had my suspicions about him a little bit. I don't know. He came off as just a young buck.
Indeed. I love, too, by the way, real quickly, as the tension kind of eases a little bit in the scene in which they're going to go off to investigate. And Ben said, do you have a car? And Warren like hypes it up. Oh, do I have a car? I have a car, all right. Then like 3 scenes later, we find out it's just a regular Buick. It's not like, oh, I got this rental in it. I'm like, I'm literally expecting some type of sweet car. Like Warren rented a Ferrari or something like that. Oh, no, it's just a regular Buick sedan.
Were Buicks big in the 80s, though? Put on your 80s glasses, John, and see it through the eyes of an 80s person.
No. First of all, no. Buick was not a luxury automobile at the time. Buick was not. Your luxury automobiles was Mercury, Chrysler,
Buicks.
No, not Buicks. No, I think Oldsmobiles were higher up on the chain than Buicks. Buick's a standard car, man. It's a standard car like a Chevy or a Ford.
I think Buick is an awful name, so.
Well, that's neither here nor there. I still can't believe they still have that around. I can't believe Buick's still a name brand that people buy, by the way, just as a side note. I don't want to get off on car talk, but I'm surprised by that.
John still owns the same Buick he had in the 80s. That's why he's bitter. He can't afford anything better.
First of all, I would like to just put it out there. For a number of years, I drove a 1996 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra, and that car, man, was solid. That car was solid. Anyways, let's get back to the show. Ben and Warren are at Allison's place, and they find out that the necklace that was around the neck of Ms. Gold, or Allison's mother, that it was always kept in Allison's safe, and lo and behold, it's in there. However, what is missing is a cigarette holder, which was always in Allison's jewelry box. So in the very next scene, Warren and Ben are discussing motive, and they're discussing suspects, and Ben and Warren both recognize that the necklace is a fake. Here's my question. How do you know that? And I know they go, oh, my uncle was a jeweler. Still, that's your uncle. What analysis did you use to figure out that this is a fake necklace? Jason, what are your thoughts?
His uncle was a jeweler.
That doesn't. No, no. Look, does any of your relatives have like skills that you don't have?
No, I have all the skills, John. I'm the most
Oh,
skilled person I know.
Enough. All right, enough. Will you stop? Anywho,
Very skillful.
So, anywho, Ben and Dr. Linder's chat, and there's the motive is pitched that maybe that this is all money scam. That because Allison keeps going in and out of the sanitarium, each time she goes in and out, more money is dumped into the sanitarium and may or may not be used for the purposes that it's supposed to be. Now, I don't know about you, but do you think there's a little romance brewing between Allison and Warren?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. There's a little romance brewing,
but it's never really sussed out. That's the thing that I get that kind of was a little bit annoying about this episode.
But that it was never come to fruition. It came to fruition at the end.
Well,
that's coming to fruition, John. You need to watch more rom-coms.
Okay. All right. Maybe I do. I don't know.
This is their meet cute.
What?
Meet cute. That's when you first meet somebody. It's a whole thing when they fall in love and meet.
Okay. I guess I'm just a jaded individual that doesn't understand love.
Watch more rom-coms, man.
I guess
When Harry Met Sally is great.
You know, I've never seen When Harry Met Sally.
You really should. You should seriously. You know, I won't recommend my Hallmark movies to you, but Harry Met Sally, you should watch as a film guy.
Okay, you know what? We'll get together some weekend. We can watch When Harry Met Sally, and you have to watch Roadhouse.
And we can share a plate of spaghetti.
No.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Ben still thinks that the cigarette holder is a major key clue. It's also determined that Ms. Gold was dead before Allison finds her, and that the cigarette holder was not returned back to the room. So that's the working motive. So Warren is putting the moves on the secretary, Nancy. Look at that. He's a ladies' man, is he not?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. He's interrupted by Linder, and so he departs. And then Warren and Ben, they drive away, and I noticed this, and I don't know if I'm being like Safety Steve or something, but they didn't wear seatbelts. They didn't put the seatbelts on, Jason.
They did not, man. They also weren't really driving. I mean, they had a screen behind them as they're pretending to drive.
Why are you such a roadkill today? You're being so difficult. Jesus. And actually, that's not even the right word. It's not roadkill, it's bugkill. I don't even see. That's how mad I am. You got me saying the wrong words.
I'm just bitter. You got a nap and I didn't.
That's true, ladies and gentlemen. He texted me, and then like 30 minutes later, I woke up and saw his text. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be ready to go by 3. Anyways, we're pulling back the curtain, folks. You're really finding out what goes on in the creation of Mattalk. All right, let's cut to a scene in Ben's office when, lo and behold, guess who arrives, Jason?
Tyler Hudson for his cameo.
That's right. Does not have a very big role in this episode, but Tyler shows up, and I thoroughly enjoyed this interaction with Warren and him because, oh man, remember what you did with such and such a case? Oh yeah, that was all me. Like, just the way he inflates his ego. Oh, it's fantastic.
And Tyler going from skeptic to loving the praise.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I mean, there is no Ben Mattalk without Tyler Hudson. Matlock instead of Tyler Hudson.
That's right. Absolutely. In fact, Jason, Tyler's so impressed, he's going to go on a little adventure with Warren, isn't he?
He is. Again, I don't think Tyler's appearance is more than a minute long in this episode.
I agree. It's super short. Shorter than maybe some of the other cameos that he's had. Well, Warren and Tyler, they go to the sanitarium, and Tyler helps Warren break into the accounting office. But Tyler leaves, as he's told, just go ahead, man. Don't worry about it. And so Warren goes in to try to find some evidence, and he ends up getting nabbed by the security guard at gunpoint. And then that leads us to a fantastic scene. We've said it many times before. We kind of enjoy Angry Ben, don't we?
Yes, Andy Griffith is a guy who can act.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he is turning it on as being super angry at the fact that Warren jeopardized the case by getting caught breaking into the office. And I'm going to start implementing the phrase Mary damn in my regular vocabulary because I thought that was interesting. That I don't give a Mary damn. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I've never heard that before either. Is that like a happy damn?
I don't
like
know.
Merry Christmas? Like Merry damn? Well, he was really angry when he said Merry damn, so that has to be a negative.
Yes, it has to be a negative. Absolutely. So Ben finds out that Warren wasn't sent by the trust company. And I felt like this right here was one of the holes in the plot. Like, then why was he sent? Why was he down there? He's supposed to be on vacation. I guess it was supposed to lead into the fact that there's this little romance brewing, but I really thought that this is kind of one of those throwaway lines, Jason.
He was down there because he cared about her. That's what I sussed out of it.
All right. Well, I will say this: at least Warren didn't rat on Tyler. That was a good thing. He didn't cough up a name, but he does leave his findings behind, and Ben reads them. And there's some connection between Bob and Linder. Ben goes to interview Bob Rainier again, and again he pitches this idea that hey, there is somehow some money going into the sanitarium, yada yada yada, and when she comes out, there's all this investment scams and everything along the lines. And so in the meantime, Warren shows up at Allison's place at the Linder Sanitarium. They share a very tender moment. And then basically Warren takes her back to the house so they can do a reenactment of the night in question. And in the middle of this, Mrs. Johnson, Bob Rainier, Dr. Linder all show up, as does Ben Matlock.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know if doing the reenactment was a good idea. Like, that seems like a lot of unnecessary mental stress on her. What do you think?
I get why they were doing it, and it did pay off.
Yeah, I guess it did. I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it just, to me, seems like I wouldn't, if that was me, I wouldn't want to relive it again because I'm reliving it all the time. So, but nonetheless, Warren lays out the theory that everybody is keeping Allison all stirred up so they can just walk away with their money out of the trust and whatnot.
Yeah.
As a side note, I really like this house that they were in, and I would have liked to know more about the different locations that they use in the sets because I thought that the house was really kind of cool looking inside. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if you agree with me, Jason, or not.
Yeah, no, I do. 100%. I like this house. I thought it was a really cool looking house.
It was creepy, but it also had some grandeur to it. It was really a cool place.
Yeah.
So Ben and Warren walk Allison through the reenactment, and Allison freaks out because she thinks that she has seen Bob in the mirror. And that leads us to the courtroom where Bob is on the stand. And again, Matlock throws out this idea that, hey, look, you're not going to be needed anymore because Allison's 21. She could take over the trust for herself. And that since Bob was using all kinds of money to invest in the sanitarium, keeping her crazy would allow Bob to kind of continue to use this abuse of the trust. But Marcia Gold found out, so that's the motive Bob had to kill Gold. And this scene, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. That judge is a pushover. I felt bad for the prosecutor, man, because he keeps objecting and he keeps getting shut down.
Well, again, they all know Ben down there, and they know that his wildness gets somewhere.
I could not believe that Ben actually said the word, I'll give you $50 if I'm wrong. And I'm like, that's bribery. You can't say that in open court. What are you doing? Okay, so we run down one more time the suspected theory of what happened. Allison is sleeping. She hears the whispers. She goes downstairs. Marcia Gold is already dead. The necklace and the cigarette holder are on her. She faints. Bob places the letter opener in Allison's hand. He returns the necklace, but he doesn't return the cigarette holder. Bob had a cigar earlier that night. It's the final piece of evidence because it was found in the fireplace. And Bob always claimed he wasn't in the library, but that puts him in the library. And also, by the way, the reason why Allison fainted and she forgot about this is that when the lightning struck, she saw in the mirror that it was Uncle Bob hanging out in the corner of the room, and that's why she fainted. I don't know about that. You know what? I'm going to hold my comments on this final scene, Jason. Do you have any?
No, not yet. I got my overall my
Okay.
overall thoughts.
All right, well, let's wrap it up here. There's still a little more romantic tension between Warren and Allison, and then Warren and Ben decide to go have some hot dogs because that's what we were missing in this episode was some hot dogs. So we fit that in at the very end. Jason, you have any other notes or anything else you want to mention?
No, not really. This is
All
a
right.
very straightforward episode.
I agree. All right, then let's get to our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where Jason and I are going to rate the episode. We're going to rate it based on a gavel system. 5 gavels for an absolutely perfect and flawless episode, down to 1 gavel for an absolute train wreck. Not only will we give our rating, but we're also going to justify why we gave that rating. Jason, would you like to go first?
Sure. I liked the episode. I didn't love the episode. I did figure it out. As soon as Ben sat down with the man in charge of her estate, I knew.
Oh, Rainier?
Yeah, I knew. I knew from that moment. Yeah, he did it because she was going to give the estate back to the daughter, and he would have been cut out. And I'm sure there's something with him. So I knew it was him from that moment. Or at least I thought I knew it was him. And I was proven right in the end. So I take a little bit off because I solved the mystery so fast. But, I mean, it's not a negative situation. I'd give this episode about a 3 out of 5. It was good. It was middle of the road for me. It would have been a little higher had the mystery been maybe a little bit better. But I still enjoyed it. It's Matlock.
See, I thought, I'm going to give my prediction. When I was watching, I thought Warren had something to do with the murder. Because when it's revealed that he wasn't sent down there, he went on his own volition. I'm like, that's fishy. And I thought maybe he was involved in it. So you said 3 gavels?
Yeah. I did have my suspicions about Warren. I thought maybe he was involved with that guy. But
oh, okay.
But I eventually let that go, especially when him and Matlock and her came back together. I was like, nah, this guy just cares about her.
Well, I'm in the ballpark with you. I gave it 4 gavels. Here's what I did like. I liked the acting. I thought the acting was pretty good because, when you get to one that's supposed to be suspenseful and scary, sometimes actors and actresses can eat up the scenery. You know what I mean? They could be a little over the top. I thought that Jill Carroll, who played Allison, did a fantastic job with the acting. We mentioned we love angry Ben Matlock, so that went off well. So I like that. I like the first scene that we had with Tyler and Warren. I thought that was good. As I mentioned in the intro to this podcast, I like the vibe, the feel of like an Agatha Christie murder. I also dug this too, Jason, and I don't think we even talked about this, but I feel that they did a very good job of presenting Allison's trauma, but not being like using one of those stereotypical mental health tropes. I thought that they did a very good job of presenting it in a tactful manner and using it within the plot of the episode to drive the action forward. And I enjoyed that. So I gave it a tip of the hat for that. I just felt like the negatives, there was no Michelle. There was no Cassie, so that was a little bit startling. I mean, they didn't even have a minute on screen like Tyler did.
They were in the courthouse. Remember, the guy asked why your office is so empty.
Yeah, but this seems like this takes like, again, the way time passes in the universe of Matlock is very, very different than it does in reality. That's for sure. Like a major murder case is done in a week. Not like almost a year or 2 years. So no Michelle, no Cassie. I also felt like the evidence against Bob was very weak. Like, I didn't think there was much there to really kind of say, oh, he's the murderer. Like, I thought it was weak. I would have liked something else. Like, oh, his cigar was in the fireplace and he said he wasn't there. I don't know. That kind of annoyed me a little bit. But overall, 4 gavels.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing too. I think if they had dropped the charges based on that, I probably would have rolled my eyes a little bit because that's not enough to drop the charges. But
yeah. All right, man. Let's talk about our other podcasting projects. Jason, what's happening in the world of the 3 Geeks?
Well, you guys can check me out every week at pvdcast.com. You can check out my latest interview with Michael Barton, which will air next week.
What are you doing?
I'm promoting the PVD cast.
You got his name wrong. It's Michael Spedden. What are you doing? You're not doing a very good job of promoting my own stuff. Come on.
Who's Michael Barton?
Never mind. I'll explain later. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, as my colleague is doing a decent job of plugging my stuff. Anyways, my personal podcasting project is the PVD Cast, available at pvdcast.com or all of your usual podcasting outlets. As Jason kind of got it right, Michael Spedden is my guest this week. We're going to talk about his acting career, his podcasting career. He's done some cool stuff, man. He was on Gotham for a number of episodes. He's in a J.G. Wentworth commercial. He was in a Kimmy Schmidt project as well. So definitely check that out. Once again, pvdcast.com or wherever you find podcasts. Jason, how about the Three Geeks podcast?
Y'all can find me, 3geeks.ninja at 3geeks podcast, or me personally at 3geeksj on Facebook, Instagram, and the twits, and also on TikTok. I'm at 3geeksj everywhere. But we drop and we do a live episode every Sunday at noon. This Sunday we are taking the day off in celebration of our mothers and the people that gave me children. So I want everybody out there to just celebrate your mom tomorrow, whether she's still here or not. Watch some old family films, remember your parents, and then if you still have your parents, go out and celebrate the day with them and just have a good time. Have a good conversation. Learn about their past. Learn about where they came from. It's always a fun thing to do, and I highly recommend it. So I'm promoting Mother's Day. Everybody enjoy Mother's Day.
I agree. I hope everybody has a happy Mother's Day, and especially to my mom, thank you very much for everything you've done for me. Love you a lot. With that, let's run down where folks can get in touch with us real quick, Jason. We forgot to do that a second time. So where could folks email us?
benmattalk@gmail.com. That is benmattalk@gmail.com.
Pluto, we're waiting on that email. Or you can find us on Twitter at MattTalk_podcast or on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast. Remember, folks, we got some big things coming, so definitely want to check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, or heck, as Jason loves to get the emails. And I mean that. He loves to get them. And I love when he gets them because he's so excited to tell me about them, and I enjoy them as well. So shall we, Jason, call it a day?
Let's do it.
I know you want to get a nap, and I beat you to that today.
It's all right.
All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, as they say in court, nothing further. The following has been a joint production between the Three Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC, copyright 2022.